We are loaded up, ready to rock and rumble. We got a fun video in store for you guys today. I'm super excited about making it. Backpack on. Do I have everything? I think that I do. Welcome to trying to split your time into 2 locations, but I wouldn't want it any other way, boys and girls. I'm so grateful. There's so many amazing things in life happening. There's a lot of work to actually make it all happen and come together. But boys, I'll tell you what, it is just such a fun journey. We're taking the big old Gahuba today. We got some DURTYMAX badges that are gonna be going down for the L5P, which might actually begin getting its wrap today. But first things first, cold start on a big old badonkadonk. Oh my goodness, when the lights turn on, this thing just evolves. It looks so sick, and I still can't get over the girthiness. Look at the width on this thing. We're talking 105.5 inches wide. Yeah, I can already see the comments. It's 3.5 inches over. That's what she said, and she wasn't mad about it. All right, we're getting everything loaded up. Rock lights are going on. We've got our keys. I think I'm all set and ready to go. Tossing this in here. We gotta grab this and put this on. Otherwise, the PSP might not be all that happy. Although that's a sick ass looking license plate, I would say. Does anybody else love these just as much as me? Man, that orange just hits so different. So different. It's amazing. So for those of you guys that don't know, when you remote start the truck, you actually cannot get in to jump it into gear. You have to actually hit the engine start stop button to acknowledge that you are in your assumed pilot position seat. And it's in your best interest to turn on the heated steering wheel and the heated seats to keep them warm, because they turn on automatically for you if the ambient temperature in the surrounding is less than 40 degrees. 138 miles on the clock, and we are hitting the road. So those of you that saw the video, we picked this truck up brand new from Whitmoyer Auto Group, which is right down the road in Mountjoy, PA. Well, if you didn't know, they are Pennsylvania's largest Corvette dealership, and they just got not 1, but 2 production Z06s in that we're gonna go check out this morning. But that's not why we're filming this video. What we're doing is actually taking this truck that you could win with $30,000 in cash. If you guys want to enter for it, check out Enthusiast. All the information about how to do so is right there. Down to the dealership so we can show all the boys and the enthusiasts the transformation that this thing went through, while also knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone, touching base on when my Z06 is going to deliver, and seeing the first 2 production Z06s in person that hit all of Pennsylvania for the very first time. These things literally just got offloaded yesterday. I'm anticipating some awesome reactions because I'm so grateful for the loyal support and fellowship of the staff over at Whitmoyer. There's a lot of good old boys and gals that follow along with the channel that absolutely love seeing what we do, and I'm absolutely in love with their support. Oh man, first reaction right here, buddy. What's happening? Good morning, man. What's going on, man? How are you, dude? Good, bro. So what do you think, bro? I like it. So guys, this is Matt Beaver right here. He was actually the one that connected us with this truck, brand new. It was sitting on the lot. I texted him and said, what's the deal with that dually? He's like, bro, it's yours. It's yours, you want it? I'm like, hold it, I'm taking it. Say no more. It was probably the easiest transaction of the year. Damn, bro.
I was just getting ready to pull it inside.
Where do we start? Like this? Or do we start with this? Or like, dude, I don't know. There's so many great options right now, man. What do you think of this glow up, bro? It came out so good.
It looks so much bigger.
I know, it's crazy. 37-inch tires, 26-inch concave wheels, massive dually super concaves in the back. It's only got like 115 miles on it now.
Oh my God.
That's it. She's brandy spanking new, bro. So guys, the funny story about this thing is when I picked it up, I drove it right over to the shop and we tore it immediately down. So when it was completed, it only had, I think it was like 31 miles on it at the time.
Right from here.
Right from here to there. So what do you think?
Word, phenomenal.
Turned out so good, right?
Oh my
Isn't that amazing? It's massive, and the road presence is crazy. It's so fun driving trucks around that are these unique colors because the reaction.
Oh my word, absolutely.
You know, and I wish that I could film like every candid one. Obviously, camera's not always on, but I figured that you guys would appreciate it. And I don't think videos do justice to like the scale or the sheer size, because when something like this rolls in, you're just like, whoa.
I was not expecting that. That's fabulous.
Well, I love how you like ran out. You're like, I gotta see it. What do you think of the dually, dude?
Looks awesome.
It came a little bit of a ways since the last time you've seen it.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
That's freaking sweet.
Turned out pretty good, right?
It is awesome.
Is that a truck that you'd like to win?
Yeah.
Potentially, right? And the people watching this video have exactly that opportunity. We're gonna get it up next to that new C8 Z06 for a comparison of scale here in a minute. We're storming the beaches of Normandy. In the terms of capturing reactions, we gotta go pay the service guys some visits because I see them all the time. And they always ask me about the progression of the trucks, but I never really have the trucks with me because I'm in my Denali. But this time I've got the truck and we gotta go surprise them with it. I'm gonna say we have an issue and they need to go check it out. What's up, boys? How we doing? All right, I gotta steal you guys. There's an issue with my truck. It's a truck that I purchased here. It's a Chevy. All right, guys, I'm in the service lane. I have an issue with the truck. It just looks so good. I need you to help me fix it.
We got you. Holy moly. This thing is a little bit different than when I last saw it.
It changed just a smidge.
Just a little bit.
I actually feel like the techs would probably be kind of pissed if I pulled it in. It's like, how am I going to get it in between the lift posts? Like, what am I going to do?
Drive over them. Color choices. That's what does it for me. It's the color. It's such an awesome color.
Yeah, and it's crazy because being that it's a wrap, it's done so well that you'd almost not be able to tell. The things that like you really need to look for when you see a wrapped vehicle are like all these seams and edges, right? So like everything gets completely torn down and then completely wrapped about a ½ inch in, so that way it's nice and clean. The guys at Accelerate kill it. They say that truck like this takes about 100 hours.
Oh, I can imagine. That's probably the sickest dually high country out there.
That's what I like to hear, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Is.
Now, one little secret into the look of SPO, Service Part Operations. I used to actually work for that division of General Motors. There's two sides. There's the sleek, sexy sales side of the business, which is the new truck, new Corvette, new vehicle sales, and then there's SPO, which happens after the point of purchase. So you pull into the service lane right here, and you get treated by those service guys and these tech guys and gals that actually help to keep your vehicle on the road. And a fun little fact is the SPO component of these big automotive businesses is actually what makes them all their money. So the service component is existential to the lifeline of these big manufacturers. The money is not made on the sale of these big vehicles right here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are stepping out next to the very first production Pennsylvania-based Z06 that is right here. For sheer scale of comparison, take a look. Now, this one is actually super special, and it is now owned by James, aka the Stradman, and I believe he's coming down to Pennsylvania tomorrow real time, but you guys are seeing this video after he's already debuted this thing on his channel. Ultimately, I would never want to steal his thunder for what is a very anticipated release, but there's a good look at the car in the comparison to the High Country, and it is absolutely insanely beautiful. This thing is specced up to the T. I love the yellow, all of the carbon fiber aero, and the factory diffusers up on the front lip. I mean, these things are colossal. I had similar splitters actually on my Audi R8, and I love the aesthetic that they brought. The width of this thing is everything that the C8 base or Stingray did not have, and I am absolutely in love. A fun fact, not to diss the C8 platform, as it's ultimately just my opinion, I was a little bit underwhelmed only because I came from the Z06 platform, both in the 6th and the 7th generation. Those cars made crazy power, and ultimately I always felt like the Stingray, it was there, it was a Corvette, it qualified, but it wasn't everything that I was hoping that it would be, whereas the Z06 release did exactly that, and it actually made me fall in love with the C8 platform. Now, I happen to be on the list to have an allocation myself, but GM has this tendency of over-promising and under-delivering, but ultimately the COVID crisis and the supply chain challenges that came out with that really only helped to enable that issue. So I'm not gonna be able to get my car as soon as I was hoping, but it's spec to perfection. The order just hasn't been placed yet because the allocations were temporarily frozen because of some of these supply chain headwinds. But this thing looks amazing. The big wing, the redefined characteristics of the rear bumper, the definitions of the bumper, the lines of this car are awesome. They widened out the hips, so it has a very, very, very wide stance. These huge vents that come off the door, almost kind of like a Ventador-esque. This spec is so sick too, by the way. Yellow stitching, yellow seatbelts, all carbon on the interior, and then the factory 5-spoke carbon fiber wheels. These are a $10,000 option, and they come with essentially straight track tires. Big old carbon ceramic brakes, which if you guys don't know, carbon ceramics are awesome. Though they are expensive, they don't shed brake dust like traditional brake pads and rotors, and that makes keeping a clean car extremely easy, which I love. And then of course you're greeted with a motor that was handcrafted by Mike Ward in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and this is the flat plane crank V8. Now, I was truthfully hoping that these things would not be naturally aspirated, but forced induction with some twin turbos and a big V8. Unfortunately, they didn't go this route, so it's kind of somewhat Ferrari-esque, but it does have basically a sub 10,000 RPM redline, and that's pretty sick in and of itself. So huge congratulations to James Stradman on his car. I'm hoping that I can see him tomorrow real time, but it just depends on where I might be and what else I might be getting into, because family time on the weekends is my #1 priority. Now, it's pretty cool. Not only is Stradman's car here, but there's also another big YouTuber's car that just arrived. This one happens to be dirty because it literally just came off of the transport truck. And this one happens to be a similar spec, except it has a carbon roof and it's TJ Hunt's. And then the Z06 inside spec is just so good. These bolstered seats, very race oriented. They're actually starting to get warm because the heated seats automatically turn on. Gauge cluster looks absolutely fantastic. The stitching inlays in the steering wheel. And then of course you get this somewhat rectangular style steering wheel. Alcantara inlays, big carbon fiber paddle shifters on the back. These things are sick. Plus you have the ability to remove the roof because it's somewhat of a Targa. Man, I am so excited about my car. You have no idea, but I need to be patient. Great things come with time. Oh wow, sitting inside of a C8 Z06 for actually the second time. This is surreal, man. Of course, you guys know me best. Heated seats, because obviously. Now I don't actually even know, is that the passenger one or is that the passenger one? Beaver, I got your butt covered, bro. So the question is,
Yes.
passenger or driver?
Passenger.
Haha, see how to unlock, boys. We're going for what's called one of the New Balance cruisers.
It really will
It's
be.
just an old man cruiser. This thing's sick.
It is. I like this carbon center. This is like the level 2 carbon fiber.
Yeah, dude, that's super clean.
They just used to do, you know, this
Yep.
and this.
Yep,
Now
yep.
it's actually the surround. It's the opposite.
It takes to a whole new level.
It does.
Nothing that beats a DCT.
4,000 RPMs. It sounds like that. That's unbelievable.
The inside is certainly dope on this thing though, guys. I love the essentially black and yellow combination. The yellow accent stitching's amazing. Spoiler alert, that is something that I'm looking at for my car. It's just the exterior is not going to be yellow. And then the seatbelt, of course, you get factory of color choice. I think you can do red, blue, black, and yellow. I'm a big fan of white and yellow cars. So not to give the spec away, but that's essentially the route I'm gonna go. And I am so unbelievably excited. I also may or may not happen to be debuting another car that's going to be the replacement of the RS6 Avant, potentially in the next video. I kind of couldn't be patient for my C8 Z06 to arrive, so I kind of pulled the trigger on something else interim that I might just have to add in addition to my C8 Z06 when it arrives. The seats are sick, comfortable too. And then this is actually, it looks to be cell phone charger. That's kind of cool. Plus it has cup holders, unlike some other mid-engine exotics out in the world. It's got these little grommets that actually hold it in there for those boosted launch type of days. Guys, just so you know right now, there's a 500-mile break-in on these things, so there's really not even anything we can do. Plus, it's PA, it's Northeast, it's a little cold right now. The conditions certainly aren't indicative of any full throttle acceleration.
Yeah, we're not doing anything in the line of testing.
Certainly not, certainly not. We are merely just trying to get gas, that's it. Sick, look at that
Right,
truck,
I'm
man, what a beauty. See you, buddy, can't wait for mine to come in, dude.
Absolutely.
Cheers, brother, take care. Sick. Sick. Love it.